My parents think you're not enough, she said, her voice tight, almost fragile. I don't want to make things awkward at my sister's wedding. I paused, letting the words sink in. I see, I said quietly, and let it go. There was nothing to argue with. I packed my essentials while she went off to the wedding, her excitement for the event completely unaware of the storm brewing in my mind. It wasn't until hours later that the first call came, her father, Robert, confused and worried, trying to understand what had happened. But let me start from the beginning. For 2 years, I believed I was Sarah's anchor, her rock after a lifetime of chaos. I wasn't the flashy, unpredictable type she had dated before. I was consistent, reliable, predictable. I paid bills on time, I showed up, I listened. I built a life around stability because she needed it. Sarah's past relationship with Todd was complicated. He was the kind of man who commanded attention, effortlessly charming, yet selfish, irresponsible, and reckless. While she described him as a visionary, in reality, Todd borrowed money he never repaid, vanished for days without explanation, and cheated with casual precision. When he left her for someone much younger, Sarah fell apart. That's when I stepped in. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't dramatic. I was the kind of guy who quietly fixed the things that mattered. I co-signed her car loan to lower interest. I helped her organize her finances. When she went back to school to finish her degree, I covered rent so she could focus. I wasn't a hero. I was the structure supporting the life she wanted to rebuild. And for a while, it worked. She thrived. She went back to the gym. She started dressing like someone who had conquered her past. Her confidence glowed, and I was proud of her. But peace has a funny way of revealing cracks. It started subtly. Movie nights would end with a sigh. I wish we did things more spontaneously, she said. We went to Cabo last month, I reminded her. Yeah, but it was all scheduled. She rolled her eyes. It's not the same. Then came the critiques. You stare at screens all day. Don't you ever want to build something exciting? She asked one night. I told her what I did, keeping hospital networks online, ensuring people's lives didn't fall apart when systems crashed. She frowned. It's sterile, safe. I laughed it off, but inside, unease began to grow. The breaking point came with her sister Emily's wedding. It was the social event of the year. Old money family, elegant country club, everyone polished and perfect. Sarah was maid of honor, and she wanted everything to reflect a flawless image. Her life, her family, and apparently, me. I prepared meticulously. A $600 tailored charcoal suit, fresh haircut, car detailed. I wanted to be the polished partner she deserved, the proof she had moved past Todd and into someone dependable. 2 nights before the wedding, I stepped into the living room, adjusting the cuffs. How does it look? I asked. Her thumb hovered over her phone. She didn't look up. It's fine, she muttered, distant, distracted. Fine, I repeated. What does that mean? She sighed, almost embarrassed. It's safe. Gray. It's what an accountant wears. I set my jacket aside, forcing a smile. The sting hit, but I swallowed it. She was stressed. I assumed she needed space. The next day, I asked about the schedule. Her phone remained face down, silent. Finally, she spoke, carefully, as if weighing every word. I've been talking to my mom, she began. It's about the guest list. It's tight. And, well, about you. I frowned. About me? Her eyes, a mixture of pity and frustration, met mine. They think you're not Todd. I blinked. Todd? Mom and Dad. They remember Todd, she said softly. They liked his energy, charisma. You're stable, safe, but they see you as a step down, a rebound. The words felt like acid in my mouth. I repeated them silently. Rebound, downgrade, step down. I don't want you in a position where you feel uncomfortable, she said, standing abruptly. It's better if I go alone. I stared. You're uninviting me. From your sister's wedding. Yes, she whispered, for both our sakes. You wouldn't enjoy it. They're going to compare you to Todd. I felt a cold wave pass through me. The logic was absurd. If they thought I was dull, the solution wasn't to hide me. But her expression made it clear. This wasn't about comfort. It was about shame. She was embarrassed by me. I said calmly, unnervingly so. Fine. If I'm a downgrade, I won't be there. Enjoy the wedding. Her shoulders slumped. Thank you, Mark. You're so understanding. She kissed my cheek. It felt like betrayal. That afternoon, I waited. I watched her leave for the venue. From 3 stories up, I saw her getting into an Uber with someone else. A man in a leather jacket, bouncy, confident. The same swagger I knew too well. Todd. Everything fell into place. She hadn't uninvited me to protect me from her parents. She'd made room for him. The fury wasn't explosive. It was methodical, like a chill freezing over. I returned to the apartment, started packing. Clothes, documents, essentials. Then the tech. My contributions to the smart home, the systems I had installed. The TV, the gaming console, the Sonos speakers, the mesh Wi-Fi router. Everything unplugged, boxed, and ready. I left the key on the counter. No note, conversation over. I drove to a downtown hotel, checked in, and watched the city lights. Outside, her wedding was in full swing, the laughter and music a distant reminder of betrayal. Inside, I felt relief. By 7:15 p.m., my phone buzzed. Robert, her father, confused and frantic. I stayed calm. Explained that I had been uninvited because she considered me a downgrade. He was flabbergasted, trying to process Todd's presence at the wedding, and I let him. The hotel room was quiet, but it wasn't peaceful. It was the calm after a storm. The stillness that comes when the foundation has been removed and everything else is left to shift. I sat on the edge of the bed, whiskey in hand, staring out at the city lights. Every siren, every distant honk felt like a punctuation mark on the story I had just rewritten. Then my phone vibrated relentlessly. Robert, Sarah's father, had called dozens of times. I let it ring. I knew he was trying to make sense of the chaos his daughter had created. After a while, I picked up, my voice measured, calm. Hello? Mark. Thank God. Robert's voice trembled. Are you okay? Are you at the hospital? What happened? I leaned back, letting the words roll over me. I'm fine. No hospital. No emergency. I left the apartment while Sarah was at the wedding. There was a pause. Heavy, confused, incredulous silence on the other end. You left? Yes, I said evenly. She uninvited me, said I would make everyone uncomfortable, said I wasn't enough. Robert's anger spiked immediately. What? Who's not enough? Todd? That little scam artist? He's here? I allowed a dry chuckle. He is. She brought him as her date. The line went quiet again. I could hear the faint murmur of the wedding in the background. The music, laughter, glasses clinking. Robert's breathing grew heavier, like a man straining to hold back a tidal wave of frustration. She uninvited you but to bring him? He finally roared. Mark, this is absurd. I tried to get security to remove him, but Sarah cried, said she needed him. She lied to me about you collapsing, about your health. I took a sip of whiskey, letting it burn down my throat, grounding me. She did, and now she has him. And me? I'm gone. You can't leave like this. Robert's voice cracked, a mixture of disbelief and desperation. She's an idiot. Come down here, we can fix this. I'll drag her out by her ear if I have to. I smiled faintly, though there was no humor in it. There's nothing to fix. She's made her choice. I've made mine. Robert cursed under his breath, his frustration palpable even through the phone. Mark, you don't understand. Todd, he's trouble. He's going to embarrass her, embarrass all of us. You know him. Exactly, I said calmly. And now she knows the consequences of her choices firsthand. That's lesson enough. We hung up. I sat back, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of everything that had happened finally settling. The apartment, the routines, the quiet dinners, the late-night conversations, they were all gone. I didn't destroy anything, didn't lash out. I simply removed the support system she had taken for granted. Later that evening, I watched from the hotel balcony as the wedding continued. From 3 miles away, I imagined the scene inside. Todd was likely charming his way into conversations, mismanaging every opportunity with the overconfidence that had defined him for years. I imagined Sarah's family, confused and tense, unsure how to navigate the disaster she had invited into the room. By the time Sunday morning rolled around, I had slept in, gone for a long run along the river, and eaten breakfast at a quiet hotel bar. For the first time in years, I wasn't managing someone else's anxiety. I was simply Mark, existing on my own terms, free from her drama. When I finally turned my phone back on Monday, it vibrated uncontrollably. 47 missed calls, 82 texts, 12 voicemails. Most were from Sarah, a few from Emily, and a handful from her mother. I scrolled through the text previews, my fingers hovering over the archive button. Sarah's messages were a progression of desperation. "Where are you? Pick up. This isn't funny, Mark, seriously. My dad is furious, you embarrassed me. Todd is gone now, please come back, please." I didn't respond. I didn't even listen to the voicemails. Later that evening, I left the hotel for a short walk to clear my mind. The crisp air was grounding. I passed couples laughing, people celebrating small victories, unaware of the private upheaval occurring just a few miles away. I realized something. Sarah had been waiting for me to be the hero again, the one to repair the damage she had orchestrated. But I wasn't the contractor anymore. The blueprint had been erased, the foundation removed. Around 5:30 p.m., I returned to the hotel parking garage. There she was, leaning against my car, oversized sunglasses hiding her red-rimmed eyes. She straightened as she saw me, the familiar defensive energy returning despite the tears in her eyes. "You blocked me," she said, voice shaking. "No hello, no apology, just gone." "I did," I replied, standing 10 feet away. "What do you want, Sarah?" She stepped closer. "I want to come home. This is insane. You don't just move out. You don't just disappear after 2 years." "A misunderstanding," I said. "Is that what we're calling it?" Her hand trembled. I didn't. "You told me your parents hated me so you could sneak Todd into the wedding," I interrupted, voice cold. "Then you lied to your father, said I was in the hospital. Which part of that was a misunderstanding?" She flinched. The lie, the absolute audacity of weaponizing my health, hit her like a mirror. Her eyes darted downward, ashamed. Todd," she whispered. "He texted Friday, said he'd be in town. I just wanted closure. I thought I could prove I was over him." "So you brought him as your date?" I asked, disbelief clear. Sarah stood there in the parking garage, tears streaking her cheeks, voice trembling. "I know I messed up, Mark. I shouldn't have lied. I raised a hand, cutting her off gently. "Sarah, stop." She blinked, shocked. "Stop? What do you mean? I need you to forgive me. I need to fix this." I shook my head slowly. "There's nothing to fix. I'm not here to repair your mistakes anymore. I was the structure holding everything together for you, and you—" Sarah stood there in the parking garage, tears streaking her cheeks, voice trembling. "I know I messed up, Mark. I shouldn't have lied. I raised a hand, cutting her off gently. "Sarah, stop." She blinked, shocked. "Stop? What do you mean? I need you to forgive me. I need to fix this." I shook my head slowly. "There's nothing to fix. I'm not here to repair your mistakes anymore. I was the structure holding everything together for you, and you ignored it. You chose chaos, and now you have to live with it." Her lip quivered, and she took a step closer. "Please, Mark, let's talk inside. We can work this out. I can explain everything." "No," I said firmly, taking a step back. "There's nothing left to explain. You told your parents I was a downgrade, unworthy of being seen in public. You brought your ex to a wedding where I should have been your partner. You lied about my health to make yourself look heroic. That's not a misunderstanding. That's betrayal." She froze, realization dawning. The weight of her actions, the gravity of every choice pressed down on her shoulders. I thought I could handle it," she whispered. "I thought I could prove to myself that I was over him, that I was in control." "And now?" I asked, voice calm but cutting. "Are you in control, Sarah? Or did you just prove that chaos feels more exciting than stability?" Her eyes welled again. It felt alive. For a moment it felt alive, but it was a disaster. I didn't know what I was thinking. I let the silence hang between us. It wasn't a pause for reflection. It was a boundary. I had done my part. I had walked away. I had removed myself from the chaos she created. Now it was her turn to face the consequences. "You need to understand something," I said quietly. "I'm not a rebound. I wasn't a placeholder. I was the person who rebuilt the life you nearly destroyed piece by piece. And you treated that as boring. You took it for granted. That's not just about a wedding. That's about everything you expect from me versus everything you actually value." Her shoulders slumped. She didn't argue. She didn't try to charm or manipulate. She just looked at me, exhausted and broken, finally seeing the truth of what she had done. I'm sorry," she whispered again. You can't change what happened," I said softly. "And I'm not here to clean up the mess anymore. That's on you." She swallowed hard, tears spilling freely now. "Mark, do you hate me?" I shook my head. "No, I just don't want to be a part of your chaos anymore. You needed someone flashy, unpredictable, someone who thrills you. That's not me, and I'm done pretending it is." For the first time in 2 years, I felt light. Free. The apartment, the routines, the constant weight of responsibility. They were gone. I had cut the anchors, and for the first time, I could breathe. She took a small step back, realizing the finality of it. "So, you're really leaving?" "Yes," I said calmly, matter of fact. "I've already moved out. The apartment is empty of anything I contributed. The lease is up in a couple of months, but you won't have me there. You've made your choice. Live with it." Her lips trembled. "And Todd?" I let out a short, dry laugh. "He's your problem now. I'm done being the solution for someone else's mistakes." The words hit her like a punch. The protective armor she had used to justify every decision crumbled. Her gaze dropped to the concrete floor. For a long moment, we simply stood there, the hum of traffic below punctuating the silence. Finally, she nodded, a quiet surrender. "I understand. I don't deserve you, Mark." I didn't respond. There was nothing to say. I walked around the car, unlocking the driver's side. She didn't follow. She watched silently, realizing the finality of my exit. I slid into the seat, started the engine, and without another word, drove away. Not from anger, not from hurt, but from liberation. The weight of 2 years of constant compromise, overlooked contributions, and unacknowledged effort finally lifted. Over the next 24 hours, I did something remarkable. Nothing. No calls, no texts, no checking on her. I allowed her the space to face the consequences of her actions, the fallout from a wedding filled with uncomfortable truths and unmasked intentions. I spent the day exploring the city, alone, free. I walked along the river, watched the sunrise, and for the first time in years, felt the joy of simple, unburdened existence. A week later, I returned to my apartment, not to move back in, but to retrieve the last of my belongings. Sarah wasn't there. No messages, no apologies, nothing. And that was fine. She had her lessons to learn. I had my life to reclaim. I realized then that love isn't just about fixing someone else's life. It's not about holding them together when they refuse to see the value in stability. True love is also about knowing when to walk away. About letting go of those who can't appreciate you before they break you. And for me, walking away wasn't failure, it was freedom. Todd had shown up. Chaos had visited, and Sarah had chosen the whirlwind over the calm. But I didn't need to chase the storm. I had already built a life capable of weathering any tempest. And this time, I wasn't the one caught in it. I poured a glass of whiskey that evening, sat by the window of my apartment overlooking the city, and smiled. Not at Sarah, not at Todd, at myself. At the knowledge that, for the first time in years, I was my own hero. The phone stayed off for the rest of the weekend. Sarah's messages piled up in unread threads. Her pleas, her apologies, her frantic explanations. I didn't care. I had done my part, and it was done. Life, I realized, has a simple rule. If you're treated as a downgrade, your value is not in proving them wrong. It's in knowing your worth and walking away. And that's exactly what I did.